this now?
Yes, finally.
Hi Nihal,
Hey
how
Adi,
have you been?
been good, been good. Just getting settled with like work, and recently I've moved to a different place. So it's a hot place, so the heat is increasing for sure.
Yeah, and summer is coming along, right? Like it's picking up and getting warmer, which is actually good. I'm looking forward to this summer going around, and now Sanjana is here as well. So
Yes, yes. Now finally we have someone to travel with. I was just like thinking, oh my God, we are married, and then we are like trying to get things in order and things happening, like the chaos. There is like equal and opposite reaction, and like um, how I've become like a computer vision engineer. We both were in AI, so still in the same field. So how was it for you? How did you come here?
yeah, I think thinking about it now, it's been a crazy journey, right? Starting in India and then coming over here. I think the first time I got interested in computer science or computers for that matter, I did not know what computer science was. It's back in 2002 or something like that. What, 23 years ago now? I remember my dad finding out how we can get a computer at home and like taking somebody else's who they were that they were going to, like, what to say, throw away, and then seeing what is possible, right? Seeing, I mean, at that point, I guess in 2002, when computers were just coming about in like everyday household, my dad really thinking that this is what is going to be the future, this is something we need to get Aditya exposed to, was like amazing, and that just latched on. Like from then it has just been a crazy journey. What is next, what is next, what is next, and suddenly we are here doing a podcast about what it is.
Some interesting facts about how the computer has like evolved to where we are now. It's just this big. When I got my similar story as yours, when we got my first computer, it came with a CD drive, and at that time, CD they did not understand the concept that the CD can contain data, and it was only VCDs and music CDs. That's the maximum. And people used to come to my house to just see the now it's not cup holder. But my grandfather was like, he was into chemistry, and this chemistry required whatever he's like doing some battery stuff, and he had to do some number crunching. So he had this a big mainframe kind of computer, obviously sponsored by his college,
Mhm.
and that's when I first got exposure. It ran DOS, MS DOS, and it was like black and
Wow.
white screen, but the computer was as big as the room, and there was the AC cooling it down and stuff like
Wow.
that. And that's the first time I got exposure to it. Before that, I wanted to be a doctor, and then I'm like, never mind. This is so much cooler for me, actually. But yeah,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
my first one even had a floppy disk.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Oh, don't forget the floppy disk.
yeah, the one that, like, what, that it has a metal, this thing that you just,
Talking about the save button.
yes, the
Printed
save button, the 3D printed save button. I used to keep playing with that metal part on top, right? You just pull it back and it goes forward. The spring action that was there.
That was the first iteration of fidget spinner. So that's the fidget toy, and you go like.
Yes, yes. I guess it started over there, and I still cannot sit quiet without having something in my hand, like flipping around and whatnot. Even in the last podcast, I don't know if people saw, I had like some small, like, bar kind of thing that I was just opening and closing all the time. Going back to the story, so how did you get interested in computer science and get into this? Like when you got your first computer, like what did you do?
Oh yeah, installed the first game and started playing games.
Of course. Oh, talking about games, one of the favorite games was Dave. The one that it's
Oh,
like a DOS screen, right? Yeah, going up and down.
I don't think whoever starts to playing games now, whoever's exposed to games now, will never understand the level of difficulty in those games that
Oh
you,
yeah.
you had 3 lives and that's it. So you like if
Yes.
you fail 3 times, it's over. You have to start from the very beginning, which is like
Exactly.
no quick save whatsoever.
Yeah.
You got to commit to it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also like wonky to navigate, right? Because it's a DOS based game. It's
Yes.
like printing every pixel as you press a button. So
Whoever coded those things has to be a genius. Like the
yeah, seriously.
whatever. Oh
Um,
my god, I
yeah.
can now imagine doing stuff like that.
And then I remember Road Rash, which was like this 3D world suddenly, right?
That's where you take your frustration, like, oh my
Yeah,
god, today's school was really bad. I have 10 homework. Procrastinate and then play game. Road.
yeah, yeah. Especially gaining those powers to like snatching a chain from somebody else and then using it on others. Oh my god, that was all super fun.
Yeah, I think for the viewers who have not seen Road Rash, you should like check it out. Because
Seriously, yeah,
the graphics is horrible by today's standards,
of
like full
course.
pixelated. But it was one of the first games where you could have certain amount of violence.
Right.
Yeah,
And then it had the theme of racing, which was like fascinating at that point in time. What this was what 2005 times, I guess,
yeah.
even before probably. Uh,
You hit
yeah,
hit some button at the right time, you could grab that guy's chain and like
exactly. That was so fun.
yes, yes,
And the other stuff is like playing TV video games. I think that's Nintendo stuff, right? Like
yes.
first time playing Mario and what else? The I was just talking about it yesterday when we were out. There were some ducks near a pond, and it looked literally like the duck shooting game, duck hunt game, where the dog pulls up the duck and shows. Uh,
That is an amazing. Actually, the original version of the duck hunting that predates us, which used like CRT TVs, the big box TVs.
mhm, mhm.
They had a very interesting concept, which we will like break down in like some subsequent episodes. But uh, yeah, that's how cool like this technology has become. Like there's like this big that the consoles used to be like so big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you said CRT, I remember. So that console came with a gun that is just shooting IR into the CRT TV itself, and that's how the game operated, right? Something like that.
So, how it worked was when you press the trigger, the screen used to flash white so fast that our human eyes can't see. Then
Oh,
subsequently flash a part where the duck is, and the gun had like a very optical scanner, not a camera, and then it used to figure out where that dot is. Very interesting how they have done that.
interesting. We should find out more and share with everybody. I think like in today's time, nobody would even think of those games or the technology that was there behind. And I mean, of course, we have come a long way since then, and we have so much cooler ways of interacting with games on a screen, which is still 2D, and then we make it 3D somehow.
Yes.
But it all started, I guess, way back there.
Yes. Now I'm like kind of into like cameras, as you can see here, and
Oh
like
yeah,
yeah, that you once you have a computer, you first play games, and then you're like, how does these games work, and what is this chip? What is this green thing inside? What you start to break down, and then you kind of get an idea of like where you're heading. And one of the things that like intrigued me was like camera sensors, and I was like, how is this piece of metal or piece of shiny thing like able to like how is it like is it like a sponge which is like absorbing light, like I was still small and I had no idea, like how if you sponge you can like take out water, I thought you just keep in the light and then it'll just light and go away. After that some really funny stuff when I was small, and yeah, and then I realized, oh, okay, this there is something called as pixels, and like how do you play with this, and a few years later down the line, now I'm like a computer vision engineer and like doing deep learning and stuff like that, which is very interesting.
if you think about the whole like even computer for that matter, and then what the buzzest word now, which is AI.
Yes.
It's all just mimicking the human body, right? Human body is the most interesting and most complicated system of machines that anybody has ever seen.
Yes.
And everything that we do in terms of technology
Correct.
takes inspirations from there and brings something to life. Like, so when I did my masters in AI, one of the courses was cognitive psychology, where it was just drawing parallels between the human brain functioning and then AI. Things like, how does memory work in the brain? How does vision work? How do vision signals get converted into like light, like you just mentioned, right? Like, how does that get converted into things that we perceive? Like, how does color work? And then drawing parallels again. Memory is directly related, and actions. All of that is pretty much directly related, right?
Yes.
That was a very interesting course that I took. It took me almost 2 months into the course to figure out that the papers that we were reading were actually partially talking about AI without even mentioning the term AI. Because the psychology side of people, right, don't really draw that connection as such. But when you see from the computer science angle, it's pretty evident that, oh yeah, this is what we're trying to do with RAM and hard disk and whatnot.
Yeah. The thing is like what humans actually do is like look at nature. Like you gain your ideas from nature, and then you have to figure out how you would. Like for example, we wanted to fly, so what did we deduced our ideas from like a bird flying in the air, right? So so not only humans, I think it's like more of like nature, like just in general.
I was having a conversation with one of my cousins. I think we are at a point where inventions, I shouldn't air quote it, but inventions in general are becoming rare and rare because there is saturation, right? Like, level of things that you can actually imitate from nature. We need to find out what else is remaining, or create something new. Like, I don't remember when was the last time an invention came out, a true invention, right? Something that changed the world. AI, I don't know if I would call it an invention, but like, the computer itself is an invention, and then the internet is an invention. But AI is just like evolution of like how you process memory and stuff like that, right? That's the way, at least I see it.
Yeah, it's just that computers become more powerful, so AI is a possibility. The concept of AI was there way before Galileo and stuff like that. Like it's written in some scriptures and some stuff as well. What do you think is the biggest innovation? No, invention that was possibly there, right? What do you think is the closest? Of course, it may not be completely true, but like we are all humans and our knowledge is like limited to our exposure, but there could be something out there we don't even know about today, but uh, from what you know, what do you think or feel is like the a good invention?
Recent, I don't know. What is the biggest invention? Maybe that's a broader question, right? Um, Recent is a relative term. I don't know if like, in the last whatever 20 years we haven't had anything big as such. If we look at what is the biggest invention, then
Would you consider
it,
mobile? Sorry.
sorry.
Would you consider mobile phones to be like the most recent biggest invention because now everything is on mobile phone and it is a computer, but
So there is a nuance, right? Now we need to define what is an invention.
yeah.
I was going to go all the way back to what electricity and stuff. Okay, so mobile phone, again. Mobile phone is not an invention, right? I wouldn't call mobile phone an invention. It's an evolution of what computers were. Like, you're trying to find optimize computers, right? Make it smaller, make it easy to handle, easy to interact with, all of that. And you're taking inspiration from telephone, which had like the 9 keypad thing, for a long time, and then you needed something like a screen, which is like the television. So you have a television and a telephone, you put it together, you got a computer, and then you made it better to make it an mobile phone. That would not that like you mentioned, that would be an innovation. What is the biggest, like the most disruptive innovation in recent times? That would be a mobile phone. But when you talk about invention, I think it's we need to go much back in time, right? Like without electricity, none of this would have been possible. Without magnetism, electromagnetism, whatever we do now is not possible.
Yes.
Um, in fact, again, the trending thing that is Tesla, nothing is possible without electricity and magnetism.
Yes.
Uh,
A lot of things. In fact, RF, microwaves, everything is gone. We'll be back to dark ages, and we'll be like, I don't know. I don't know what we were doing then.
that is what is an invention, right? Like when you say, I don't know what I would do without this, is what
Right.
an invention is.
Yes.
What is something that is completely indispensable, right? One of it is definitely electricity is still like you can be without it, but water water is completely indispensable, and land, like but in order to manifest all of these things, you need something like electricity, because you can't keep drawing water from the well, right?
Right.
um, so that is, what do you feel? That's what I would say.
So the reason I said, gave an example of this modern smartphone. I agree with what you're saying. The true invention has been taken like a long ago. But for like say someone who is Gen Alpha, and those very young kids who are now like mostly their like life is revolves around the phone, the iPad, and God knows the computer also going to get extinct at that point. But for them, you ask them, oh, what if I remove your phone? How do you think life was before the phone? They would say the same thing, like, oh my God, I don't know how I would do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's still perspective and relative, right?
But no, what you said is right. Like we kind of have stagnated over time, but these most of the innovations that we've had is still good. It's helping people. Some are not, but even if it is, humans will find out how to not help humans with that. So that's also a thing that happens. But yeah,
When you look at like generations, comparing generations and all, right? Like we are saying all of this about the current Gen Alpha. I don't even know this order of generation.
no, just
Everybody calls it whatever they want, whatever it is. The latest generation, let's just call it wow.
okay.
But
So someone is really pissed with you. So yeah, with
but
you.
you know what? I feel like our parents and our like grandparents would say the same thing about us, right? They'll be like, "Oh, the biggest invention for us is the wheel, maybe because they got to go around places without having to, walk everywhere, right?" Yeah, I guess it's also whatever we are talking is also generational context, I guess. Because somebody now would not even think of wheel as an innovation or invention, right? That's kind of what it is.
That's what we want to like in this podcast, at least between me and Adi, we want to like talk about technology in general, and like how it helps, and how it has evolved over time, and like maybe think of something new, and like just brainstorm on things.
Yeah. I think we have set a good foundation right now, right, with a generic start to like stuff. But throughout this, like we started with what happened, how we saw computers, and ended with how everybody else is seeing computers and technology right now. Everybody interprets technology differently, and we have been exposed to so many different kinds and extreme improvements, right? Like one of the things that I would like to explore is the evolution of um, the way I won't say evolution, but the way
Yeah.
we listen to music. Starting with what tape recorders
Yeah,
and like
vinyl discs, record
what is
players.
that, gramophones, gramophone, right? It's called, yeah, vinyl discs and turntables, and yeah, all the way up to now what all the streaming platforms that we have.
I at least feel this is just there's no proof about this, but I feel like India is just like one generation behind US when it comes to technology and stuff like that. We're rapidly catching up to US, but we had a completely different experience compared to like people who are not in India, right?
Yeah, India is rapidly catching up, and there are areas where India is making longer strides and newer strides that nobody has made in the recent years, times when we were not there, right? As an outsider, how do we feel when we go back, when we visit India? What do we feel about the recent improvements? Those are things that we can talk about as well.
This episode probably is just like a lot of things combined together, like to make like a meatball or something. But in our probably the coming episodes, we'll have more coherent topics where we'll like talk about those topics in particular. So
And we'll have like Sanjana and Ruth were talking as well. We'll have guests too, to enhance this and bring different perspectives to the same
yeah,
um, time frame, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know how to end this. We'll be one of those that just like end it and then like just have credits.
Yeah, we'll probably do that, but for now, bye. See you in the next episode.
So,